and I see some of your principles that are exactly aligned with the Rotary principles. One is you want to be following the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. We're actually a part of the United Nations. We have a seat at the table with the United Nations. Rotary was there when the United Nations was started, and we've stayed with it ever since. And everything we do needs to align with those 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So, perfect alignment with you and with us. You also, one of your principles is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. In our bylaws, in our Constitution, for many years, we asked every club around the world to represent your community in all its aspects. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. We want the community represented. Why? Because various parts of the community is not going to see their needs met if we don't know what their needs are. So we want them there as part of Rotary so we can understand who they are, what they do, and how we can help. So DEI is a part of our DNA. You also talk about partnerships. We all know that when you partner, you can do 10 times more than you could by yourself. Partnerships are incredible. I'd like to recognize Matt, past president of Toastmasters, right over here. Thank you for coming today. It's only been a few years where we started a partnership with Toastmasters. And because of that, and it took us a while to get it going and get it off the ground, because, you know, two organizations doing their own thing, trying to come together is no easy task. I'm going to talk more about that a little later. But we did. And we now have on Rotary's website, on our learning module, I think 12 modules of leadership written by Toastmasters in Rotary language. So our 1.4 million members can now access leadership training from Toastmasters directly. That's a fantastic leadership, fantastic partnership. Now, thank you, and Toastmasters. There's many other partnerships, and Ann and I are going to chat later about how Rotary and PMI can come closer together and do some things together. All partnerships are a little different, so it doesn't have to fit a mold, but there's things we can do together, especially as so aligned as we are. You also believe strongly in accountability and transparency. Well, guess what? We've achieved 4 out of 4 stars from Charity Navigator for 17 years. One reason is because we are accountable and we're transparent with our financing. You know what we do, we show you, and we make sure we continue to do that always. And also another reason is because our administrative cost is very low compared to most NGOs. So we're doing all the right things, and we're doing them aligned with what you want to do. And that's fantastic. I think that's an opportunity we should not miss. I love the comment in your materials where you like to turn big ideas into manageable, measurable outcomes. Every one of our projects around the world have to be manageable and have to be measurable. If you can't measure it, you can't do it. You can't get a grant from the Rotary Foundation unless you can measure the success, unless you make sure you're meeting the needs of that community that you want to work in. Again, we're aligned perfectly. So we're going to take this places where others wouldn't believe it could happen, but I believe it can. So a little about Rotary. Well, last year, first of all, our mission is to help bring world peace and understanding. We're looking at the big picture. We want to do whatever we can to make our world a better place. You heard, PMI also does, working toward that. When you think about how you do that, well, you need funding. Last year, we set a new record for fundraising for the Rotary Foundation. In a time where a lot of foundations aren't getting what they used to get, we got a record number of $569 million. All of that is scheduled to go to projects. Okay? Some go to an endowment fund, which is now over $2 billion, and we only use the interest from the endowment fund to go to projects. The rest goes to other a number of other funds, including an annual fund that goes specifically back to projects, but after 3 years. So we invested, we used those earnings to help pay for the cost of running the organization, and that's one reason our administrative cost is so low. So we're able to support ourselves. As you heard, we have 47,000 clubs in over 200 countries around the world, 1.4 million members. And think about it, every single one of those clubs is going to do at least one project this year, and every year. That's 47,000 projects. Do we need project managers? I would think so. But then we organize in districts. We have a little over 500 districts around the world, and those districts had 468 grants last year. That's another group of projects that we do. Then there is a time where clubs can come together and do bigger projects, maybe $400,000, $450,000 projects. They come together, they're called global grants, and last year we did 1,424 global grants. You see how much we're doing as an organization and how much help we need in doing projects. Each one of these examples I give you is a bigger and bigger project. We also now have what we call projects of scale, where the Rotary Foundation provides $2 million grant, but it has to have partnership with that. So we insist no area or region can get a project of scale unless they have a partner to go with it to put in at least $500,000. Our first one was in Zambia to reduce malaria significantly by 90%. We put in $2 million, the Gates Foundation put in $2 million, World Vision put in $2 million. We had $6 million to spend on reducing malaria. In a year, the Gates Foundation and World Vision came back to us and said, this project is going so well, and we're seeing so much success, that we want to each give you $10 million, if you match it, of course. So we now have $30 million to take that program into 4 other countries in Africa to reduce malaria. Our partnerships are important, and when your partner sees what you can do, because they don't know about it, you can talk all you want. Amanda's going to hear me talking today, and she's, okay, yeah, you talk. Until she sees it for herself, she's not going to believe it. When partners work together and you see the success, and you see the possibilities, that's when you want to do even more together. And that's why partnerships are really so very important. We've done 5 other programs of scale, and right now, one of our local programs is being considered for a program of scale. But I also wanted to mention the biggest, our number 1 priority as an organization is to eradicate polio. Eradicate polio off the face of the earth. We started in 1985. 350,000 young people were afflicted with this horrible disease that causes paralysis, causes death. In some areas they call them the crawlers because all they could do was crawl through the mud to get to where they're going.